Yeah, what do we do about the Smithsonian? Well, let's ask this instead. What do we really need to do about the Smithsonian? And the answer to that is not much. Honestly, not right now, because the Smithsonian isn't on fire. There's a lot of smoke there, but what's actually burning is the entire infrastructure of honest public history, and then all of the money that once supported it. Yeah, that one of Trump's executive orders makes noise about the Smithsonian, and it name drops a couple of exhibits. But here's the thing, the order doesn't actually do anything. It's mostly symbolic. It's performative nationalism dressed up as governance, which is what occupies 90% of the time of the people in this regime. The Smithsonian isn't run by J.D. Vance, it's run by Lonnie Bunch. It's run by a 17-member board of regents that includes the vice president, but it also includes the Chief Justice of the United States, and then a mix of congressional members, 3 from the Senate, 3 from the House, 9 citizen appointees, and the next appointments for that group of people don't come up for another year or two. Vance is just one voice. And so that executive order tells him to work with the head of the OMB to ensure future funding doesn't go to projects that this regime finds ideologically threatening. Work with the Speaker of the House so that future citizen appointees are more sympathetic to what it is that they want to do. This is all aspirational. There's no enforcement mechanism. There are no rules. They're just aspirations. And so the language mirrors the broader strategy, right? Use power theatrically to suggest that they possess more power than they actually have, hoping and knowing that fear alone is enough to chill dissent. And it's working everywhere else, so why not there? Well, why not there? Lonnie Bunch and a staff like the folks of the National Park Service have heroes. So what needs to be done about the Smithsonian? Nothing. Not right now. It isn't the battlefield. Not yet. The executive order cannot restructure the Smithsonian. It cannot dictate its programming. It cannot force change through fiat. They just did a wonderful program on Phyllis Wheatley just yesterday. What it can do, and why we're not talking about Phyllis Wheatley today, what it can do is distract. It can create a headline-grabbing scapegoat while the real damage unfolds elsewhere. This is Steve Bannon 101. Keep your opposition fragmented and distracted. Because while we're stuck arguing about one museum system, the regime has redirected the entire public humanities pipeline, and this is what I've been talking about. The NEH hasn't been defunded. So everybody who is calling on Congress to restore the funding, the NEH hasn't been defunded. The IMLS hasn't been defunded. And this is why these advocacy groups don't know what they're talking about. They're not paying attention. The funding is still there. What's gone are the projects. What's gone are the previous awards. But that funding, almost $500 million, is explicitly being repurposed, their words, repurposed for nationalist ends, for patriotic education ends, by their own words, with no one left inside the agency to stop it. Anybody who comes back in is there to forward it. So just last week, the NEH canceled 85% of its grants. Multi-year projects terminated. State humanities councils defunded overnight. Letters went out stating that your grant's immediate termination is necessary to safeguard, the interests of the federal government, and that the NEH is now operating, quote, in furtherance of the president's agenda. Everything is now the Kennedy Center. Did you like National History Day? I loved it. Did your kids? I loved National History Day. Now it is history. All of the NEH employees, and this is reported just the other day, are now on leave, like all of the folks at the IMLS. There is no NEH at the moment. Musk is seeking to gut 80% of the staff. But the money that all these advocacy groups are calling on Congress to restore has not, in fact, been eliminated. It's just now going elsewhere. It's going to fund patriotic mythology. It's going to fund projects that are in the national interests in line with 47's agenda. And then there's the basis of the court challenge against the anti-DEI, anti-discriminatory equity ideology language for future NEH projects. It's not about past projects. It's about future ones. It's about current applications. So the Fourth Circuit has ruled that restrictions on DEI and anti-discrimination projects can stand for now, meaning that public funding can now be legally channeled only to those who produce ideologically conforming work, who hop over that patriotic education nationalist hurdle. And that's a new kind of censorship for the United States, at least. One that doesn't silence you outright. It just ensures that your work never gets funded. And that's why this is bigger than the Smithsonian, because while we're hand-wringing about whether the director of the National Museum of African American History and Culture, Kevin Young, is on leave, he is, by the way, but he has been on leave for personal reasons before all of this started. $500 million is being redirected to those willing to write grants in this regime's image. And there are plenty of people and organizations and institutions more than happy to cash in on the patriotic education. There always have been, right? They've always centered white history while calling it American history. Mount Vernon, Colonial Williamsburg, the Museum of the American Revolution. These folks are lining up for this funding. But places like the tremendous Tenement House Museum in New York City, I mean, they're battening down the hatches because they're already every single day telling resistance history as a part of their jobs, as a part of their missions. And they're ready for the fight. And I'm here to help them through that because they have constituencies that I suspect are all set to see them through the battles. So again, what do we do about the Smithsonian? Well, not much. Not when the real danger is the machine behind it, the regime's new public history apparatus, powered by defunded reality and state-funded myth. And so that's where the fight is now. Not over a museum, but over the story of the nation itself, and more to the point, who gets to tell it.